WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning. And,
Good morning.
A little bit of Ken Nordine this morning.
Yes.
You got to get your vocal warm-ups in, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Always got to warm up a little bit. Yeah, we should do we should find some more Ken Nordine maybe for the holidays.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, people really enjoy Ken Nordine very much.
I'm not sure. Are
the
people
word
even
jazz,
aware?
Word
of him?
jazz.
Yeah, the word jazz guy.
Way back in the 50s and 60s. I mean, he was one of the icons back then. He didn't really intend it to be like that, but interesting interview. It would be great to rerun that interview on the show. It just
we could do that maybe during the holiday week.
Yeah.
That we're planning.
Oh yeah, we should try that then. Yeah, good idea.
We could sample some of that.
I was talking about yesterday. I was hallucinating on coffee. I had a little bit too much
During the show.
Yeah, that never happens.
You seem normal to the rest of us.
Well, I don't know what was going on. The thing is, I have this really good coffee now, and I thought I could use a couple extra scoops in the coffee, and it would even taste better. Sometimes coffee gets a little too intense if you add too much coffee, but for some reason it didn't get intense, but the caffeine did. And I was flying yesterday, just flying.
Caffeine's not really that good for you. You were shaking a little bit.
I was
sweating.
It was not good.
Yeah.
I almost OD'd on the show.
Wow.
Talking to Sam about what? Go ahead.
Maybe somebody dosed you.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody wanted to have unwanted
harm.
sex with me.
What hell are you talking?
John got roofied.
That's it, Sam.
Oh, God.
But Sam was talking about still making coffee in his percolator. Can you believe that? A percolator.
Percolator.
Yeah.
Well, I refuse to buy a new coffee maker if I've got one that works just fine.
You were just talking to me how inexpensive they are. All you have to do is go out and buy another one.
You can. Well, I walked into Target a couple days ago and they had $20 coffee makers right there.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't sound like it'd make a good cup.
Well, that's true.
I don't know, but here's the thing, though. Your percolator, you said it was your grandmother's, right?
Great grandparents.
No, really?
Yeah.
Wow, it's got to be
You don't see
really
percolators too much anymore.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
That was my first coffee maker when I got my first apartment in Milwaukee.
Percolator?
A percolator, yeah. It's before I started really getting into coffee.
Did they have drip coffee makers by then even? Had they been invented?
I don't think they were at that time. No, seriously, I don't think they were. We did. Victor Allen's kind of. I think they started in Milwaukee on the east side, but I'm not sure. But this is well before that. Before the coffee roasters started appearing all over the city. But the percolator, I got to tell you, I kind of liked percolated coffee. I thought it was really
a hot
good.
take.
Maybe it's coming back.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. I just loved it.
I gotta find a place that sells coarse ground coffee because, like with fine ground stuff, like you buy everywhere, it gets into the coffee so much with my coffee maker.
Oh yeah.
Oh, huh. That's weird. Okay.
So definitely, keep that percolator going.
As long as it keeps working, I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they certainly make better coffee makers. I have a super coffee maker right now. But, you keep that thing and enjoy the flavor. And someday you'll look back on it and say, geez, I love that percolated coffee.
Do you want me to bring it in so you can have a cup made
Yeah.
with it?
Bring it in.
Well, it'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, do you just buy regular coffee off the shelf to
Yeah,
use
pretty
it?
Not
much.
the cans.
Just drip
The cans.
the can, like
Yeah.
Bill's Brothers or something. Yeah.
You know what? The better coffee in cans is, I think, Folgers. It was anyway.
That's what I
back
always
then.
It's the best part of waking up.
Folgers.
Is that the slogan?
Yeah.
Because Maxwell House was a little bitter for me. I didn't
definitely.
like Maxwell House.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay,
But it's cheaper.
The can of coffee that I had here for our coffee maker, I brought in once. Like we ran out of the little individual packs. It was Maxwell House. I don't know what happened to it, but it tasted like cigarettes the first time I
Wow.
the first
I think
time I
that's what
brewed it
they're
in the
going
coffee
for.
maker here. I don't know if I've gotten used to it or if the flavor has just gone away somehow.
Maybe your taste buds are changing. You know?
I guess I've gotten
You know?
used to cigarette coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe people are putting their cigarette butts out in that can and
Well-
you didn't know it.
Well, you've been smoking those big cigars, when you go on break. And
Oh,
so those
yeah,
aren't good
yeah.
for it. Try to lower
I'm
your
a
voice
cigar
little
chomper.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, whatever you're drinking to keep you warm this morning, it's damn cold
It's
out.
damn cold
That's
out
what
there.
I think weather people should start swearing more on the air.
That's
Like
what I'm
TV
thinking.
weather. It's just damn
Yeah,
It
cold.
really
Damn
adds
cold.
emphasis.
Yes, it would be.
It's
Anyway,
windy too.
yes,
It's
very
co-
breezy.
It's cold as S word.
It's yes, it is.
All right.
Okay, let's see. Right now it's 10 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
and with the wind chill factored in, a little northwest breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour, it's -6. That's the way it feels. That's the feels like
It
temperature.
feels like
What?
that's great. That's great.
Would you like to know what the afternoon high is?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
Let's
yeah.
do the roulette wheel
Let's see
thing.
what
Spin that thing around backwards. It'll change counterclockwise. Okay. It's taking a long. Oh, 25 for an afternoon high.
Is there a way to make it go less time?
No,
Smaller radius?
seemed like it went
right?
a little longer
Spun
that
it a
time.
little too hard that time.
Okay.
All right.
25 is our expected high.
That's
today.
not good.
But it's going to be windy all day long. So bundle up, dress in layers. Get a hat and a scarf and gloves.
I mentioned this before,
Right.
but my sons have a different sleep time. And my younger son, who likes to go out in the middle of the night and take walks,
Yeah.
which I have to get a lighted thing so it looks like he's out there actually intentionally walking instead of looking like he's going to peer in people's windows or rob a store or something. But he came up this morning and said, I went out for a walk. I said, really? He says,
Wow.
yeah, it's 8 degrees out and it's too cold. He just bought gloves on Amazon and they're not insulated. I think, well, your gloves aren't insulated. You really have to get some insulated gloves. Well, I guess so, but it's so cold out there in the wind that I think if I wore goggles, I'd be okay. Yes.
Goggles?
Yes. I've never thought of anybody wearing goggles because it's too cold outside, but I thought, that's an interesting angle. Okay, go with that.
Yeah.
So he's walking around downtown Middleton with goggles.
Well, maybe his eyeballs got all frozen up and
Yeah,
stuff.
well,
His
the
eyelashes.
The wind.
Yeah,
That's what his solution is to that.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's check. Should we check out the National Day calendar? Or
Well, let's
not?
do that.
Should we skip it today? Or
We always
you
try
wanna go?
to, but let's get to
All
it.
right. It's December 5th. Is it or is it not National Repeal Day? Is it or is it not National Sacerdote Day?
So that's the word you could.
Yes. Sacher. So you know this is a day. S.
Yeah.
Well, you look at it.
Okay.
How would you pronounce it? You see it?
Yeah. Soccer torte.
Okay.
I have no idea.
And is it bathtub party day?
It's not.
Or is it
bathtub party day.
paper cut day?
Okay, it's not paper cut day.
You're right.
All right.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right.
Okay.
Now let's get into the soccer
Soccer
torte day.
torte day. That sounds like a dessert item, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Hey, guess
Let's
what?
find
We're
out
right.
it is. Oh.
If you like chocolate and you like cake, then National Soccer Torte Day is today, and it's a perfect day for you. The layered ingredients make this dessert a delicious tort, right?
It almost seems like
Soccer
the French did
torte.
this on purpose just to make people not be able to say the name of whatever dessert they sent to the U.S.
Do we have Julian standing by? Can you throw it in there or
Soccer
not?
torte.
Okay. At the age of 16, a guy named Franz Sacher was the only apprentice to the chef when some chef, it doesn't mention.
I think you might
Franz
have said the word right.
Soccer?
Soccer.
Sacher?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, they made this dessert. Who cares?
Where is he from? Is he from the U.S.?
I
Soccer?
believe he's from France.
Oh, okay.
Germany.
Soccer torte.
One of the other.
In-
Doesn't really
in-
say where. Oh,
in-
Vienna. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Vienna.
Vienna, okay.
Austria. Okay. cakes and torts are very similar, actually. In fact, a tort is a type of cake. Okay, I'm done with that. It's bathtub party day. Did you find Julian? Do you have it? Let's hear him. Here we go.
The German pronunciation, Sachertorte. Okay, yes, I know in English it's not generally pronounced this way. It's often pronounced as Sackertorte. Sackertorte.
Sucker
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Hey,
Got
we got a couple of responses here in regards to coffee.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a song that featured a coffee percolating sound? It was.
Yeah.
The percolator.
There's a
That's
couple
not,
of songs,
not the
yeah.
one that. Yeah, but there's an actual one way
Yeah.
back in the 50s.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Well, it's for one of the coffee companies, either Hillsborough or Hillsborough. Hills Brothers. Hillsborough's a town. Yeah.
Yeah, I play that on the show every now and then, don't I?
Yeah.
No,
It sounds like it's a
it sounds
takeoff
like
of that,
but
it's not exactly.
But the original is
I'll do some digging.
very good. All right, and somebody said I used to wear goggles snowmobiling and downhill skiing. So
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Yeah, makes sense. It's bathtub party day. Hey, do you have a bathtub? Well, it's party time. It encourages everybody to skip the ordinary shower and linger in the tub instead. Why would we need a day just for that? Add some suds to the tub and pamper yourself.
What is
Bathtub. It's a bathtub party. It sounds suspiciously like a crowded affair, but it doesn't have to be. It says here.
I've been in a few of those bathtub parties.
Don't tell us about your days in 1968.
All right.
Nobody wants to know.
But they're fun.
Remember? Oh, never mind.
What?
Remember, Arnie Wheeler?
Wheeler, yeah.
There was a hot tub party one time for 92 and 80. I don't know.
That probably didn't end well.
No, it didn't. Never mind. It's 18 minutes past the hour. When we come back, we'll open up the dusty history book for today. It's John and Gordy in the morning.
Rolling and a stroll, moving with the groove, and splish, splash, yeah, splishing and a splashing. One time I was splishing and a splashing.
this version is Billy Joe and the Checkmates.
Yes.
Oh, Billy
yes.
Joe and the Checkmate.
It's great.
Yeah.
It just builds up right here. Just keeps
Yeah.
building.
Okay.
Go for it. Okay, now hit
There.
it.
Watching coffee brew was never so much fun.
Yeah, it's a happy little song.
Okay. Didn't quite build. But,
No,
you
it
know.
didn't.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. It was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when people percolated their coffee first thing in the morning.
And Sam, you're going to bring it in tomorrow? Bring in your percolator.
I can do that, sure. Yeah.
I'd like to see something that old.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like a stainless steel kettle looking thing.
He makes
Yes.
it, that's all it is.
Well, yeah.
Well,
It's
it's-
old. It's ancient. It's still
But I want
working.
Sure.
let's
Yeah.
brew up
It's
some coffee.
probably 40, maybe 50 years old.
Is it square?
No, it's
No.
like a round.
It's chrome.
It looks like an
kind of,
electric
right?
kettle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, bring it in. Bring some
Will
coffee
do.
with it.
I
and
will.
We'll check it out.
But it sounds like fun. Actually.
Can't wait. That's the little things in life, right? Oh, boy.
Well, we'll
Tune
share it
in.
with our audience as well.
Our phone lines are open, and you can also text us at 608-879-8255. That's 879-TALK. Or just use the Civic Media app. Let us know what's going on. What's happening in the history book arena
Boy,
today?
I'm glad you asked. Let's
Please
let's
I'm glad-
open it up
I'm glad
slowly
he- I'm-
today.
Oh.
Slowly. No.
Well, you know, it would really help if you just held your breath while you open that damn books.
Hold it. Yeah.
I really ought to take your advice, John.
Yeah.
Whew, maybe it's all those cigars I've been smoking.
Yeah, really.
Good
Back
thing.
off on those.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah.
All
right.
Let's see. Today in 1848, that's the first entry we got in the book today.
Okay.
The California Gold Rush is confirmed by the U.S. government. Like it had been rumored in a couple. What's so funny?
Just, the government confirmed it and just said, yeah, it's a thing.
They
Well,
said this is it.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Historical event.
James K. Polk, the president at the time, he said that there was a lot of gold out in California. there were some newspapers, one on the West Coast
Yeah.
and then on the East Coast, that had like rumored there being gold out in California, but he confirmed that there was a lot. There wasn't actually a lot,
No.
but that's what got people to head out to California.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
People that made the money were the people that were selling the pans and the picks
Yeah,
and the shovels.
I was reading about I was reading
Yeah.
on Wikipedia about it yesterday.
Yeah.
The second guy who heard about the discovery,
Yeah.
the first thing that he did was to go and set up a prospecting store.
Yeah. It's smart.
Exactly.
You
Why
know,
not?
in all those gold rush towns, sprung up all over the place.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a way to create a new city.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Fun stuff. Jumping.
It is. It is fun stuff. I love history so much, especially
What else
the dust.
happened on this
Jumping
date?
forward a century, today in 1952, the Great Smog of London begins.
Wow.
Are you
Great
familiar?
Smog.
No, I don't remember that at all. I remember the smog out in California, but
Back in
I
the-
don't remember that.
yeah.
Right. Well, so
60s.
London has had air pollution problems for centuries.
Oh, sure.
But in the early 50s, they were still burning coal pretty much to heat everything. And post World War II, they were exporting all of their high quality coal and burning the cheap, low quality stuff at home.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the perfect storm of like weather events and cold weather. So people were burning a ton of extra coal.
Wow.
That there was like all of this sulfur in the air over London,
yeah.
and
Ugh.
it created this terrible smog, and like a ton of people got sick, a ton of people died.
Lord.
It's crazy looking at pictures because it's literally just like the streets are filled with smoke. You can't see 100 feet in front of you.
Soot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What else? What's that? Okay.
We always have
Move
nothing
on.
to say
I
after.
don't know what.
Well, I mean,
it's
it
too
creates
bad.
a
I don't know.
horrible
Yeah.
vision.
And the wind then blew it away.
The
and
lesson to be
everybody was
learned:
fine.
stop burning coal. I
Yes.
guess.
And then Jack the Ripper came out.
Oh no.
All right, let's continue with.
Last thing I got on the list today in 1955, the Montgomery bus boycott begins.
Montgomery,
Day after-
Alabama. Yeah.
Yep, day after Rosa Parks was arrested.
That's
It was originally meant to be a one-day boycott, but it was so successful that they decided to keep it going for almost a month towards the end of December.
Yep. Any celebrity birthdays today?
John, do you recognize the name Fritz Lang?
I do.
Fritz Lang, the
you?
director of Metropolis.
Yes.
A couple other
Oh.
We've always talked about Metropolis
Right.
on this program when Jim comes in and we
Jim
talk about the
Healy,
movie.
yes.
Yes. Historic
Metropolis had
movie.
all these different versions, and they try to
Yeah.
piecemeal this thing together because they had different versions of different countries, different edited versions, some final versions, but they can't locate everything, and some parts of the film
Not yet, at
are just
least.
drawings.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a silent movie, so they
Yeah.
just fill it in with music.
You know,
but
Gordy and I are going to see a silent movie. Not a silent movie, but
yeah, well, it is a silent movie, basically.
Sure.
100 beavers.
hundreds of beavers. Yes.
Yeah.
It's got
I don't,
no
I don't know if I
dialogue.
can make that tonight, Sam, by the way.
Oh,
but,
man.
Yeah, I got something I got to do.
Okay. Couple
Well, that
other
sounded
birthdays though.
really insincere.
Yeah, I'm sure. Couple other
I do,
birthdays on the
actually.
list here.
Never mind.
It's Walt Disney's birthday.
Oh, sorry. I had what do you?
You had
I
a
had
little spasm there.
a little spasm on my wrist. Sorry for all
it
you
did
people
sound
watching
insincere.
closely.
Giving me a certain
Folks,
gesture.
text us and tell us exactly how insincere that did sound.
Let's just move on, okay?
All right.
Well, it's like I said, it's Walt Disney's birthday, the Mouse Man, and Little Richard's birthday is today.
Yeah.
What was that about? The
Little Richard.
Does he
come
do
on,
that?
Little Richard.
Yeah,
I
Little
haven't heard
Richard.
that many
Well,
songs.
play Good Golly Miss Molly.
I've got
dial it
a
up.
different song queued
All
up.
right,
We've
well,
only got
when
a
we-
minute
All
left.
right, no,
here.
that's
All right,
good.
we'll
I'm
play it
glad you
when we
have
come
that.
back.
Okay.
Yeah. He had that high pitched woo, and Paul
Yeah.
McCartney
okay.
picked.
I
picked up
remember
on
it
that.
now.
It was kind of the first glam rockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Did you
What a-
listen to Doug's cut that he sent you?
No, I haven't been looking
All right,
at the text
check
message.
that
Ken
out.
Nordine.
We'll get to
thing.
that.
Oh,
soon.
it is
What,
Ken Nordine.
Yeah, that's.
what do we got coming up in Idiocracy next?
Well, that's a great question.
Well, we've got
We've got busted
Oh,
pencils.
that's
We've got
right.
busted
That's right.
pencils.
It's Thursday.
Dr.
Right.
Tim Slekar will be joining us shortly. Give us the insight on education, what's going on in the world of education.
That's right.
We'll get educated. It is 6:29, and we're coming back with more on John and Gordy in the morning.
She almost drive me crazy. She knows how to love me, yes indeed. Boy, you don't know what she do to me, to the booty, oh Rudy, to the booty, oh Rudy, ooh, to the booty, oh Rudy, to the booty, oh Rudy, to the booty, oh Rudy, oh wop bop loo bop lop bam boom.
All right. Now we're back. Everybody's out getting the coffee, Tim. Sorry.
Okay, I think I'm supposed to be here.
What's that?
I said I think I'm supposed to be here.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Not bad. Survived Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'd like to just ask you a question about it. I listened to that podcast. You went out hunting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, I tried that.
You tried it.
Yeah, as a little boy, and it didn't work out for my dad, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I didn't do everything right. Uh, but we can talk about that. I want to get to your guest, Bill Ayers, and
Yeah.
what he was talking about. The moment. What do you call that moment?
Sure.
And get into your kind of a summary of your discussion, so people still listen to the podcast and stuff. I don't know if I played it for you, but I have a little cut of Pete Buttigieg talking about DEI.
Okay.
And how he explained it to a group of people, of undecided voters. It's that website where they always have like 20 people to debate in the middle of the room. Have you ever heard of it?
No. It sounds interesting though.
I'm just they get all these political people in, and they usually get opposition people surrounding them, and they raise their hands and they come in and rush to the table in the middle where the guest is.
John and Gordy, oh, John and Gordy.
Tell your neighbors to listen to John and Gordy in the morning, followed immediately by me, a true broadcast veteran, Stephanie Miller, on 92.7 WMDX.
We've been doing it for about as many years as Stephanie.
I think so, yeah.
But she's got the national stage. That's okay. We don't have a traveling show or anything like that. Except
We're
sexy
working on it,
liberals.
but
What the heck?
That's not
It's
happening.
okay.
You guys are sexy.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. This portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress, available on Madison's east or west sides, or online at Verlo.com.
As usual, every Thursday morning at this time, we check in with Busted Pencil's Tim Slekar. Thanks for being here this morning. We have so much to talk about. So many
Always.
little things. Yeah, I know.
Lots of little things,
I know. This morning I was checking out the news, and there is 2 Massachusetts families. They filed a lawsuit just Wednesday challenging deceptive and fraudulent marketing of literacy curricula by several companies in Massachusetts state court. The whole point here is the lawsuit filed alleges literacy curriculum companies peddled products that deceptively and harmfully excluded meaningful phonics instruction, the one thing essential to literacy success. What do you think, Tim?
You okay?
No, we've talked about this. This is the science of reading shtick. And actually, we're very happy that we get to talk to Dr. Nancy Carlson Page once a month. That's Matt Damon's mom. Who happens to be a literacy expert, early childhood expert, and is from Boston, from the Massachusetts area, and points out that this movement to essentially now go after curriculum, and the main curriculum is Lucy Calkins, and it was called Balanced Literacy. And the idea behind this is that students need to learn the words, learn the letters, learn the sounds. They also need to see words in context, and they should be able to use the pictures that they're looking at to actually help them determine what they're reading, and that they should really read texts too that also have meaning instead of just designed to check your grade level. And now all of a sudden we've got this like we've discovered gold, that they've now decided to call it the science of reading, and it's essentially a phonics only curriculum. And they've now launched this attack that kids now can't read because occasionally they were using balanced literacy, where teachers asked the kids to occasionally sound out or guess at words or look at pictures to help them make decisions. All the things you do when you're learning to read is now against the law. And so, yeah, we're coming after this. But Dr. Nancy Carlson Page points out that, the research on using multiple ways for kids to learn to read is still solid. But there's a lot of push, though, in some of these curriculum companies. I think we may even started it, but there are states, in my state of Ohio, if a teacher or a college uses now literacy curriculum that isn't on the approved list, you can have your license revoked and your ability to grant teaching licenses as a college removed. I mean, this is like weird,
Wow.
oppressive crap. But
Yes.
I just saw that, though, where these parents now are suing. My kids can't read because the teachers taught my kids how to not read. That's essentially the and the teachers may have been okay, but they had a bad curriculum, and that curriculum should have never been. Oh,
Yeah, it says here the suit seeks substantial relief for students harmed by the literacy curriculum, a court order requiring the companies to warn schools and families of the defects in their products and more.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff.
Defective products, defective literacy curriculum. Again, not to spend a whole lot of time, but teaching and learning to read, which is a very essential component, particularly of early childhood, kindergarten, first grade, where we are learning, how letters make sounds, how words come together, how sentences make points and sense. And mostly everybody remembers this, find the main idea. Jill was wearing a red hat. What color was Jill's hat? Oh, it was red. I mean, all of these things like that. What does the letter C say? The letter C says K. What does the letter A say? Ah. What does the letter T say? Cat. Cat. Oh, okay. All of this comes together. And guess what? Some kids learn to read somehow, sometimes just by being read to. Leads them to understanding. Some kids need actually really direct instruction on saying this letter makes this sound and putting those together. And the reality is that there's no one single curriculum, no one single approach to teaching literacy that is a universal, this works and that doesn't work. They all kind of work depending on the kid. They all kind of don't work depending on the kid. It just has so many variables that go into teaching people how to read, because teaching how to read is a really complicated, incredibly challenging task. When you think about what's happening there, you've got little squiggly representations that somehow make sounds, that somehow make words, that somehow make sentences, that somehow make paragraphs, that create a language. And so this is a really complex endeavor, learning to read. Right here, though, now this whole idea that we're going to, become millionaires. Well, maybe this is, darn it, I missed out. Maybe I can have my kids now say they can't read, and I can sue for a couple $1 million. And crazy stuff, though.
Not yet, but what you're saying is all of these elements are included in teaching children how to read, not just one. And this lawsuit is trying to just make it phonics. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at what they're calling the science of reading, it is a majority of phonics. And again, there's no complaints in saying that you should learn that. Yes, we should learn what the letters sound like, and which was balanced literacy. You hear the term balanced. So kids got phonics. Yep. Kids got picture books. It was balanced.
Tim, what about writing cursive? Is that going the way of the? I mean, really, is that still taught, or is that just ancient history now?
No, that is that's an interesting issue, because it really isn't taught as a direct instruction anymore, where kids learn how to write cursive, learn how to print. I mean, they're still printing. See, Sam's jumping in there now.
Please, Sam. What?
Well, okay, so I'm 23. I of course like learned how to print. You learned how to write. But for cursive, we spent about 2 weeks on it
That's it.
in 3rd grade, and that's about all that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, there-
I,
what-
I can't write
They
in
don't
cursive.
spend a lot of time
Wait,
on it, just so you
wh-
can read somebody's signature, basically.
Yeah, how do
Right.
you sign a document? I mean, come on, really?
Well,
Cursive?
I've kind of like developed a signature. It's not exactly cursive, and I can read
Printed.
cursive with difficulty,
Well,
but I
really?
can't write
Well,
it.
signatures are now allowed with print. I mean, you
Okay.
can print. your name
Yeah.
now.
You have
Sign all
electronic signatures. It's an
Yeah,
interesting. I mean, this is really interesting because you bring up some topics. There are some people saying, for example, how can you read historical documents?
Mhm.
That were written in cursive, handwritten letters. That's a skill now. I've recently heard, and I understand what they're saying is that the AI technology now can read cursive. So as long as the kid has their AI attached to them, no problem. They can read. I don't know how to feel about this one because you know what? Yeah, I know how to print. I know how to write. I know how to read. I know how to type. I know how to do all
Yeah.
those things, and I feel like it's pretty important to know all of them. But it is interesting what Sam points out, which is, and again, think about Sam at his age, and now kids in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, they really are not being taught cursive handwriting. They're just not. And so what does that mean? Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah. I don't know where to go with it either. I just think that, I mean, most of the cursive handwriting my mom wrote many years ago, I can't read anyway. And I know
Well-
cursive.
Well, I remember when we were kids in say 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade,
Mhm.
you learned how to write cursive and then write a letter, like
Right.
write a letter to your mom and dad.
Yes.
Write a letter. There was a form to
Yeah.
write. Put the date at the top, dear whoever. There was
Yeah.
whatever you're wanting to say, and then you sign it at the bottom. There was a form that you had to do and learn to do that. That's apparently gone.
It's gone now.
Gone.
Yeah.
That's gone,
Just-
it's a lost
Just
art
do an
now.
email.
Yeah, do an email. You know what? Dictate what it is you want to say. Put it into the computer, and then use a cursive font. There you go.
That's the shortcut.
You got
Well, I kind of like that one.
Hey,
Technology is so wonderful.
So when I'm sure you guys then too. When you were learning to do cursive, you also part of the grading by your teachers was whether or not you were neat or not with
yes.
your cursive. Well, just think
Mhm.
now, cursive font, you can now get that A+ for neatness.
Great.
Yeah, I remember the lined paper. You always
Yeah,
had to
exactly.
make
The double
make-
lined.
Yeah,
the-
you had to make sure the letters went up
Oh,
to that. The
man.
small letters went up to that line. And,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. All right, well, why don't we get into something a little more controversial at this point? Because we have an elected president, Trump, and he's pushing privatizing schools across the nation and even changing curriculum across the nation as
Sure.
well. And at the same time, we've got local elections rejecting privatizing schools.
Right.
So we're in a very weird moment, and I think you had a guest on, Bill Ayers, social justice educator, as you describe him, an activist. He kind of described this whole thing as well, and named it kind of a contradiction.
Right.
The public is looking at it in a contradictory way. Could you explain what happened on your last podcast that you have out there?
Well, I mean, Bill Ayers, great guy. And anybody out there going, the Bill Ayers? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Bill Ayers.
It's a
Yes.
it's a guy that made Obama an evil person.
Yeah, that's
Right. It is that.
controversial.
Yes, that Bill Ayers, the Weather Underground, Vietnam, and different things like that. But went on to be a teacher and a professor of education. Wrote an incredibly awesome book that actually a lot of us in teacher education have our beginning teachers read, called To Teach. And it's powerful stuff. He's an incredibly gifted speaker, and his ability to, even disarm people who vehemently disagree with him is something I've got to watch and see many times. In fact, my first connection when I was within the Penn State system, I brought Bill to speak on campus, and there were, news articles and people protesting that he was coming. And there were these 3 guys who came, duck hunters, all wearing camouflage, ready, just ready to take him down for being a communist and all these things. He talked to the 3 of them, and they literally looked at me and said, "I think we agree with him." And so so it's that Bill Ayers. He's but the contradiction, and I think that's a great way to look at it, is to say, so let's just use where we really saw this, and we did a show on this with a guy who went down rural Kentucky, where they voted 80% of the voters voted for President Trump, but when it came to vouchers, they voted no on vouchers. 74% people voted against vouchers. And you say, how did they vote in favor of their public schools and then vote for President Trump, who has put forward a national voucher movement? And say, yeah, that's a contradiction, because you're going like, wait, you love your public school, you don't want, but you voted for President Trump. Explain that to me. We think we've kind of figured that out in an interesting way. So I know we're coming up on that. So think about that, and maybe we can try to answer that.
Yes.
After the break,
we will continue with Dr. Tim Slekar from Busted Pencils on John and Gordy in the morning.
Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow.
Oh my God, Sam, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Flashback,
little LeVar Burton.
Yeah, I have to say, I just love that show.
Yeah,
some of the shows were absolute classics, especially the visit to the memorial. I think it was the Vietnam Memorial. There was a book about that. It was just heart-wrenching. Absolutely.
Well, understand that actually too, like Reading Rainbow, for the science of reading people, they don't want that being shown to kids anymore. The reruns. That's part of the. It's part of it. Reading Rainbow is part of the problem, according to them.
Oh my God!
Yeah, this is
do
what I said.
Do they want to? I imagine they want to just cut public funding for PBS and anything that's left. I mean, that's dwindled over the years.
That's on the agenda. Yeah. They just talked about it yesterday about cutting that. Can we just bring that up real quick, because we did play the music and bring up Reading Rainbow quick.
John, I got another gadget I should bring in. I have a typewriter that types in cursive.
There you go. Nice.
No.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's wow.
Nice.
Right.
You choose your fonts. You imagine changing fonts on a typewriter. You're like, I gotta put these new keys in. Darn it!
Yeah. Just take a few minutes. Yeah.
I didn't want Helvetica.
My kid's into the font styles. He says, "How could they use that font?" What
terrible choice.
Yes, it was a terrible choice. I'm thinking, wow, I would not have thought about that.
Are either of these for this segment?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Who did judge?
Yeah. Well, we might get to that. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
20 seconds.
What?
This too up here.
Yeah.
I don't know how I messed that up.
Also, we got Mark on the line. I don't know if you guys saw.
Well,
Mark from the Sac.
That's right.
Prairie du Sac.
92.7 WMDX, the John and Gordy in the Morning Show. We're talking to Busted Pencils, Dr. Tim Slekar. And in just a moment, I want to first talk about Reading Rainbow. You played a song, Reading Rainbow, into this break. And you mentioned something very interesting about Reading Rainbow. Look, I thought it was one of the great programs.
Right.
I watched it with my kids, and and very emotional.
LeVar Burton.
Incredible. They were really, really memorable shows.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the thing you were talking about? They don't want anybody to see this, or
Geordie LaForge too. Yeah, LeVar Burton.
Yes.
Yeah, Reading Rainbow. I mean, when I was student teaching, we would wheel it in, in second grade, and it was always part part of the second grade mentor teacher I was working with. It was part of literacy instruction. And this is the insanity of the science of reading, but that is considered now, not worthy of helping kids learn to read. And it is been pushed by extreme science of reading people that they don't think anybody should be allowed to watch Reading Rainbow anymore.
Wow.
Just what's going on?
Weird.
Well, because they really dig into the stories and the emotions and the feelings,
Yeah.
all the reasons you read.
Right.
Nice lead, and thank you.
It's so distracting from learning how to read when you start getting into the meaning of reading. Darn it.
Yeah.
Well, and they want to cut more funding for PBS. I mean, that's been dwindling over the years, but they want to get rid of it
Yeah, they talked to
almost
Speaker
completely.
Mike Johnson, and
Yeah.
Mike Johnson said, "Yep, we're going to cut that.
Yeah.
It's gone."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I don't know why they're so possessed to cut that. It's just
Well,
so
teachers,
ridiculous.
I worked at a PBS station for 3 or 4 years, and teachers, I mean, they have a whole education department in PBS stations, and with a lot of support and a lot of stuff, resources for teachers to use in the classroom. And, even, 10 years ago when I worked there, they were already cutting federal funding. Every time the Republicans got in charge, they want to cut
Yeah.
for
Right.
PBS.
Because you create a tax cut for a wealthy person, and they're much happier funding public television. Billionaires, give them the right tax break, and they will fund all the things we need.
That's right.
Oh,
And then,
sure.
of course, hold that funding if you don't do what they want.
Right.
And then we're finding that out at colleges. Now, let's get into what we were talking about prior to that, and that is the contradiction. This
Yes.
moment where, Trump wants to go private, and the local people don't want private. They want to support their public schools.
Yeah, they support their public schools, and when way to kind of look at that is first, again, you're talking about your neighbors here that aren't really necessarily political activists, and when you did hear Trump's advocacy for public education, he actually really spent most of his time talking about sending it back to the states, sending it back to the localities. And if you listen to that actually sounds kind of important, because these are what the people were saying when they voted for their public school. They're very much voting and saying, they're our kids, they're our towns, they're our schools. We want that. And so there's kind of a message where they're hearing President-elect Trump saying, we're going to send it back to the states, we're going to make it local, where that in one way, there's not a conflict in that vision as they're hearing that. And so they vote in favor of that. The other part of it, though, too, is that, what is it about, our schools don't teach woke ideology. Our teachers don't do that. So we're fine. We don't want to lose our kids and our schools. Lots of mixed messages and contradictions. And guess what? I'm going to put most of the blame on this, though, too, is that, and this was an issue that the Democrats continued to lose out the opportunity to harness blue collar people in their mission for a populist mission, where people say, when you have 74% of a Republican bright red state voting in favor of public schools, and you as the challenger don't run on a pro public school platform, you are losing out. And instead, you kind of put forward the typical, we're going to, we want to get test scores up. We want to eliminate the achievement gap. Nobody locally hears that as going, oh my God, I want to get behind that. But when you talk about taking something away that people value or putting it, and so Democrats missed out. And then the other part, they could have easily pointed out the contradiction there, which was saying, wait, you're voting for a guy who has said he wants to do away with your local public schools. Again, I'm going to put most of this on Democrats' inability to recognize the power of a populist movement that puts public education at part of that way of saying, this is what we stand for. We stand for communities. We stand for public education. We stand for democracy. This is the Democrats' fault.
All right. Well, Tim, it wouldn't be a busted pencil broadcast without Mark. A comment from Mark. Can we get
He's been
Mark
holding
on the
on the
line real
phone
quick here?
for a while.
Let's listen to it. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, thanks. Well, first on the whole script, I mean, I can remember the in school, in grade school, with the script being above the printed alphabet or
Right.
below it, I can't. But they actually taught us how to do that. And part of the whole thing, we have a national national program for education. Is I think part of it, like especially for science, that when the Russians, got ahead of us in the space race, I mean, government took an active role and said we have to, make our children ready to, and I'm part of that generation to, compete on a worldwide stage, because all these other nations have national health,
They do.
national education programs,
Yep.
and this whole movement to eliminate script, and I mean that's how we lost how to read cuneiform for goodness sakes, because not everybody,
Right.
they stopped teaching that.
Mark, thank
Mark,
you.
We had to relearn that.
We
We're up
run out
against-
of time,
yeah,
but we
we're
had
up
to
against
get
the
you
clock.
on real quick here. And Tim, thanks for joining us today.
Always love it.
Busted Pencils, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, drops new podcast at civicmedia.us.
That's right,
Also
yes.
Saturday afternoons on the Civic Media Radio Network. Tim,
Yeah.
thank you.
Great
Talk to you next
show on Saturday coming up. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Back with more of John and Gordy in a moment.
As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
Sorry, we got right up against the clock there.
No, I know, and Mark is never quick to any point.
But
Mark,
boy, we
Mark
covered a
calls
lot
to
of ground on
reminisce.
that. Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, well, I think it was pretty good. I thought we covered
Yes.
a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, we covered a lot of stuff, and there's going to be more, but I don't know, that for me is to kind of really start pointing out that that saying that Democrats have just
Yeah,
continued
that's
to
a
miss
great point.
that they miss an opportunity
Miss an
where there's a
opportunity.
populist movement of afoot, and it's just and I've been seeing a lot of the criticisms of people saying it's like because you're still kind of pushing this. We are smart, we are educated, and that's alienating to a lot of people. And,
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
See ya.
care.
Oh, yep. Bye-bye. Okay. Any of the first
transmitted by wire.
Here is the latest news brought into your own living room. You'll be hard to satisfy with anything less.
Let's give them something to talk about.
Talk is cheap. Gib. Always gossiping.
It's the John and Gordy Show
This is Hi-Fi Plus.
And that's the way it is.
We'll do it live.
on 92.7 FM WMDX. Take it away, boys.
All right.
This portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress, available on Madison's east and west side or online at verlo.com. Cold temperatures out there today.
It is.
Just 10 degrees currently. Feels like -6 with a little breeze out of the northwest. We'll reach a high about 25 today with a mix of sun and a few clouds. We'll talk to Brittany Merlot in a few minutes.
Yeah, we got an internal memo, and it was that minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit is the same as minus 40 degrees centigrade. I did not know
got a
that.
memo on that, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife knew that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That was a TV weather guy for 20 years.
I still don't understand it.
We never talked centigrade.
We got
a few texts.
We got a text here from Tanya Rowe. Thank you for that. And she said, I am right now using my great-grandmother's quick drip coffee maker from the West Bend Company. They make the best coffee makers ever. And then she sent us a link to what it looks like, I guess, I would assume. So
I
we'll
can't seem to
that out.
open the link for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, can you copy that and then put it in the browser?
No, I can't. I can't even copy it. I'll work on it. We
Oh.
got to get you your good coffee maker, John.
All right.
And I was showing you guys
gotta
a picture of the drip coffee maker, which is a little different, a whole different thing, a real contraption.
It's like a top and bottom half that screws together.
That's what my
It's a
parents used for years.
goofy looking thing.
It was just odd.
But it's cool.
It made
very
great
cool.
coffee, though.
Yeah.
So,
But you normally have to take the stem out. Do you take the grounds and stem out? I can't remember how I did that. Is that what you do when you before you serve it?
On the drip coffee makers, you take it apart.
Not the drip. Well, the percolator coffee.
Oh, the percolator? I don't know. I never had a percolator.
You take the innards out before you.
No, but
you leave it in there.
It's slow to drain through the basket, so usually I leave it like a minute or two.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Well, bring it in tomorrow because we want to try some percolating coffee.
And we got another texture. I know it's fashionable to blame Democrats, but it is possible to do your best and still lose.
Okay.
I'm in agreement with that. I think, maybe we could have said something different about education, as Tim Slekar had mentioned. But at the same time, I think we did an exceptional job. I thought this was the best campaign ever. I think they both represented the Democrats' progressive movement very, very well. Certain issues certainly could have been touched on in a better way. I think the Gaza situation, she could have parted herself away from Biden's position on that a little bit more, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. Right?
Well, yeah, exactly, and really tough to do any kind of campaign, in 107 days. I mean, usually campaigns last much longer than, twice as long.
Yeah,
three times as long.
Months.
To get to know a person and to really get a feel for what they're all about.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's what it was.
It was magic. This is an interesting thing. We're going to talk about Trump doing strange things. Okay, I actually don't have any cuts from Trump. But let's get to this. Bernie Sanders wrote, Trump has suggested that Canada become the 51st state of our union.
Yeah.
Does that mean that we can adopt the Canadian healthcare system and guarantee healthcare for all, lower the cost of prescription drugs, and spend 50% less per capita on healthcare? I'm all for it.
That's what Bernie had to say.
That's what Bernie had to say.
Oh, good.
So in an attempt to intimidate Canada, Trump posted an AI image of illegally crossing into Switzerland.
Wait, what?
This is a graphic, AI produced graphic.
The
of
image is
Trump standing on a mountaintop
Right.
with the Canadian flag blowing
Oh,
next
yeah.
to
It's
it.
the Swiss Alps.
And it's the Swiss Alps. It's the Matterhorn.
I did see that
Somebody
picture.
wrote, it's the Matterhorn. It's Switzerland, Einstein.
That's hilarious.
What an idiot. No, okay, I shouldn't say that.
No.
I know there are a lot of people out there that voted for him, have a tremendous amount of faith in him, and calling him idiot is condescending. And, I feel sorry for you, that's all. Then, he did this. And this was the headline in the Post. Ladies and gentlemen of America, this unhinged clown is your president-elect. How proud you must all be. And it is a post by Trump where he posted a picture. One half of the picture is Elvis. The other part of the picture is Trump's face.
Yes.
And it creates one face. And this is what Trump wrote. For so many years, people have been saying that Elvis and I look alike. Now this pic has been going all over the place. What do you think?
Oh, boy.
He really needs help.
Well,
Anybody? He's a malignant narcissist. We really have to do something about it.
Hey, we have Todd or Billy on the phone line.
All right, let's see who appears this time.
608-879-8255 is our number. That's 879-TALK.
All right.
Talk.
What do you got for us?
Todd or Billy?
Hey, good morning, John and Gordy. It's good to talk to you. I've been thinking a lot about this, again, what blames the Democrats have for what's down. And I often hear people saying, well, we need to meet voters where they are. And I've really been curious about what is that supposed to mean? I'm in education, and education, meeting our students where they are means that we accept where their learning level is, and we teach to that level, and we love and accept the students anyways. And that's one meaning. The other meaning means go on Joe Rogan and literally be where the voters are.
Yeah.
The second, I'm okay with. The first, if that's what people mean, I'm concerned about that because, I don't want to validate the way the cruel and ignorant and greedy thinking that is behind a lot of the decision making of some of the voters, and I don't want to meet them where they are. I need to challenge them to be better, not meet them where they are. I'm not going to stoop to their level.
That is really an exceptional point. And, when we talked about this with Mike McCabe yesterday, how do we approach this? How do we not condescend to the people who voted for Trump? What do we say? How do we meet them halfway? And you've got a really good point that I think that somewhere along the way we've got to come up with an agreement in how we approach our discussions with the right, with the MAGAs out there. And next time CJ gives us a call, we will get his suggestion and the rest of the story on that, okay? That is what we're going to ask him. We're going to ask him, okay, CJ, how do you want us to talk to you? Okay, well, let's get his suggestion on it. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of this, and we'll pass it along to Mike McCabe, and he can do a little post on that. All right. All right,
Todd or Billy, thank you for that call.
Yeah, that was that was a great point.
Okay.
Let's get to Trump's IQ now. This is this
IQ.
Yeah, this hit the S-fan.
Did he take another IQ test?
No. The results of an IQ test that President Donald Trump allegedly took during his first year at the New York Military Academy has been discovered in a file box in a closet in Brooklyn, according to the test results on this. Trump, his IQ is 73. 73. They're trying to authenticate this. It's probably going to be authenticated. This was from 1955 to 1985. He didn't administer these tests, but he was in charge of collecting them, and his father in the closet collected all this stuff. So anyway, I just want to run down what exactly a 73 IQ is.
Yeah, how does that compare? What are you, really? 73?
73. According to Human Rights Watch, it indicates a fairly heavy learning disability. no surprises yet. Borderline impaired, no surprises yet. Or in their own words, diagnosed as having mental retardation. So that is what an IQ of 73 means, technically, in medical terms. Normal is 90 to 120.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I believe 100 is average person, right?
Right.
I think so, yeah.
Right. So there you go.
Well, maybe he had a lot to learn, and he learned it in the school because he graduated.
Yeah.
It was just at the beginning of this school year.
Are you making excuses
Maybe
for
maybe
him?
maybe Donald Trump was taught with the science of reading.
Oh, well, maybe.
He wasn't fully taught how to read correctly.
By the way, I mean, this is found on a 3x5 card in somebody's closet
No,
or
no,
something
no.
under their shoebox.
Apparently, this guy who's cleaning this out, his father was in charge of holding these papers, and now he's just going through the boxes that he kept. So this is finally now we know. 73, okay?
That explains.
I'm taking it as documentation. Screw it. All right. This program, we're okay with that.
We're fine. Okay.
No one's going to take us to court. How much time?
2 minutes. Here.
God, what is wrong with you?
What's
All right, let's go to.
What's wrong with him?
Let's
wrong with
get
you?
an example of how crazy Trump really is. So let's play cut 32. Okay, this is 1:08. I think we can squeeze this in. Let's check it out.
Okay.
This is CNN.
There are a lot of fun numbers when it comes to this. How about billionaires, all right? How many Trump administration picks are billionaires? At least 5. At least 5 are billionaires. I wish I was a billionaire. Here it is in photo form. You can see it on your screen. You know, you get folks like Elon Musk, well-known, Vivek Ramaswamy, well-known, Stephen Witkoff, who I actually know, well-known in New York circles for his real estate dealings. How about those on Fox News? It's not just Pete Hegseth, right? How about this? At least 11 Fox News hosts or contributors. Again, you just see, it's just so many names on here. My goodness gracious. We've got 11 on here. And finally, how about Mar-a-Lago? You know, Trump administration picks who hosted or co-hosted events at Mar-a-Lago. Look at this number. It is 12, including those who co-hosted events at Mar-a-Lago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 with Lee Zeldin. The bottom line is this, is that Trump is someone who feeds on people being loyal to him, and there's no greater sign of loyalty than hosting or co-hosting an event at Mar-a-Lago. And so that's what we got.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Billionaires.
I describe it here on my sheet as crazy Trump picks for administration is like a DC version of Hollywood Squares. It's got
a lot of
it's got them
billionaires.
all. It's got them all in there.
Attracting them.
And what? It's 12 Fox hosts. Come on,
That's
it's ridiculous. What is he starting a TV network?
apparently so.
Maybe.
Okay, it's 18 past the hour. Coming back with Brittany Merlot will tell us how cold it's going to get.
Yeah. You know it's gone out of hip shaking King Creole.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Brittany.
Hey, guys. Oh, I didn't get the flannel memo.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not wearing a flannel if that makes you feel any better.
It does, a little bit.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing a Minnesota?
Yeah, what's that all
Haven't
about
I?
Gophers?
Well,
What the hell's
my
wrong with
my
you?
grandpa worked
Gophers.
at U of M for like 40 years.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
but you're not a Gophers.
You're not a Golden Gopher fan. are you?
I'm indifferent to them. I don't know.
What about the Badgers?
You're a Badger. I mean, they
Indifferent to
hate
them?
the Gophers.
Okay,
don't
my
they?
secret is that I actually don't like UW Madison.
What? Oh no!
Wow. Okay. Why
Yeah.
don't you go on camera, and show Brittany your little shirt there?
I love it.
Brittany, you went to college at DuPage. I know that for a
And
while.
then,
and then
Mississippi State. And Northern Illinois University.
We're reminiscing, the old days of having a percolator making our coffee. And Sam is still using one. He's going to bring it in tomorrow, and maybe we'll try some of the coffee. Maybe not.
Will it be as cold tomorrow as it is today?
Well, I
That's
don't
the
think
question.
we were warned properly. We have Brittany here who didn't tell us that it would be this damn
Yes,
cold.
she did.
What the hell?
She told us
Brittany?
yesterday,
I'm
a
really
cold front.
disappointed.
Come on.
Hey, now.
Or did I forget? Did I forget?
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
forgot.
you're dressed today in a white outfit, and it looks like you're ready to enter into some kind of Elvis ski movie of some sort.
Yes. I do look
Yeah.
like that, actually.
Yes, you do.
Are you a skier?
I am a skier. That's why I have this
course you
gear,
are.
of course, right?
Yeah.
Not enough here in Wausau just yet to go skiing, but up north, goodness, Guile, Wisconsin, got another 10 inches of snow just yesterday.
Good. Really?
10
Wow.
inches. Yeah.
That's-
So what
Could
we
you,
went through wasn't too
What-
bad, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Sam, could you look up Winter a Go-Go?
Winter a go-go.
See if there's...
So,
if
yeah,
that's
it's really
on there.
cold this morning and wind chills below zero. So, is that the way it's going to be all day
Yeah.
long? What's happening?
What's going to happen here?
Yeah, so the winds stay feisty, unfortunately. Not as bad as yesterday. Those were gusts around 50 to 55 miles per hour.
It was
Crazy.
brisk.
Yes.
That was wild. The snow going sideways, all of that. Hard to see at times. But today, it'll gust to around 30. So more of what we're used to. But the cold is still here. Highs today only rise to about 24 degrees. So 30-mile-per-hour winds on top of that. It's going to be feeling more like the single digits for a good chunk of today. Highs will probably feel like the low teens. And then tonight, we do fall back down to the single digits, basically. So a little warm-up does start tomorrow. And we do get warmer into Saturday and Sunday. Like Saturday, we're looking at 40 degrees. By Sunday, nearly 50 degrees.
Wow. I
You're
love
telling
that.
yourself that
Thank
when
you.
you're freezing today,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Yes. Wow. Excellent.
Yeah, so that's exciting. But
yeah.
price to pay is rain Sunday night, so keep that in mind.
Oh, really? We've got frozen ground now, so I wonder how that's going to react,
Ooh, could be a
Runoff.
little bit more puddling and
Yeah.
flooding going on there.
Yeah,
But
it could be.
yeah.
So, how should one bundle up on a day like today? Brittany, do you have any weather tips?
Yeah, bring along an umbrella. No, you
No,
can't
no,
do
no,
that.
son,
But
no.
so what do you say?
a
What are
hat,
the cliches
gloves,
you like to say?
Mittens, scarves.
I would do all of that. Layers, because you definitely don't want to be sweating. Once you start to sweat, you start to push chances of hypothermia, and I've done that really fast. So layers. Avoid sweating. Definitely mittens are better than gloves, too. If you have your fingers together, they actually stay warmer than if they're separated. You're laughing
And what
at
kind
me,
of?
Gordy.
I'm not laughing.
Yes,
I'm just.
you are.
And what would you have in your car as an emergency weather kit? How about some cables?
Yeah, what about
a
that?
little shovel, maybe some salt or some kitty litter.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
I do the kitty litter. I've
Yeah.
got a sleeping bag, extra gloves,
Wow.
a hat, scraper. I even have one of those battery chargers too, just in case anything
yeah.
goes really wrong.
Those are very handy, actually.
Jumper cables.
Yeah, those little tiny jumper
Yeah.
batteries. Those are
Yes.
excellent, aren't they?
Good deal.
They are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and thank goodness we've got a little warm up on the way for the weekend.
Yeah.
That's something
It'll be
to
nice.
look
I like the
forward to.
timing of it, right?
Yeah.
Get us outside, soak up the sunshine. We need the vitamin D. These clouds, I've had it. So it'll be sunnier
Wonderful.
today, which will be nice.
Did
Yes.
did we get?
Good to see the sunshine.
Did we get that? Is there
I,
something
I
like
don't.
that?
I don't even know. Is this a song from? I found the movie.
Yeah, the
like
movie. There's a sound. Yeah, the theme song I believe is.
What's this?
Do you know who's it by?
No.
What's it called?
Winter a Go Go.
Winter a Go Go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
should
Seems
sing
to
it,
have almost
John.
no presence on the internet. I found a record for sale.
Okay.
That doesn't help me.
All right,
though.
that doesn't help us
Get on it.
actually
I
hear
guess
it.
I'm getting to the point
Thank
where
you.
I'm really getting to unbelievable past references that no one knows about. So,
I think you reached that a long time ago. All right.
okay.
Thank you, Brittany.
All right.
We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
All
Stay
right.
warm.
See you later.
You
Talk to you
too.
tomorrow.
Yep.
It's Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Bring along an ice scraper.
That's-
blah 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 blah.
Okay. No, it's important information.
Oh,
if somebody just maybe moved here from, down south, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They don't know what to expect.
Normally,
That's
if
it.
they're from the south, they don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, now, come on. All right.
All right, let's not. Okay,
It
you
is.
know.
It is. Look at it.
What?
It is very windy out there still this morning.
It is.
A little bit brisk.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we get to some humor here because we're struggling. Daily Show 29, cut 29.
Oh, what we got here?
Yeah, well, Jon Stewart takes a look at the Hunter Biden pardon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Again, I mentioned it before. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why not pardon your own son? My God, what the hell is wrong with you people? Let's play this.
But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Hypocrisy isn't illegal, nor is it particularly unusual in politics. It's not like he's ever going to run again, so why not take care of your kid? Even if you said you weren't gonna. I respect it. I don't have a problem with it. The problem is the rest of the Democrats made Biden's pledge to not pardon Hunter the foundation of their defense of America, this grand experiment.
One political party remains committed to the rule of law and the other doesn't. It's that simple.
Hunter Biden's not above the law. No one is above the law. Democrats stand for the rule of law.
We accept the outcome because that's how the rule of law works.
Because the justice system that convicted his only surviving son is the same justice system he's vowed to protect. And if that doesn't tell you who Joe Biden is, I don't really know what does.
The Democrats made this case an example of why Americans should believe in our system. And it's hard. Democrats have the tougher road of defending our institutions and systems as being flawed but still valuable. Republicans just run on blowing the But at every turn, Democrats keep getting caught creating a purity test for a system that they can't seem to pass themselves. Rules, loopholes, and norms. The distance between the systems Democrats say they are revering and the one that they're using when they need to is why people think it's rigged. Use the rules, use the loopholes, the norms, but also use it to help the people, not just those people related to you. All of us are somebody's son or somebody's daughter. And we all need that break too.
That's right. And I like the fact that he's emphasizing the thing that he noticed most, and I think it's going to go down as something that he's going to be remembered for, and that is rules, loopholes, and the norms. The Republicans take care of the loopholes. The Democrats go for the norms.
All right, we will.
Here's the song.
This is it. Winter a go go.
Winter a go-go.
There you go.
7:29. Back with more of John and Gordy in the morning in just a few moments.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Old West Exterminators, the only exterminators in town who kill your roaches after giving them guns and allowing the roaches to draw first.
92.7 WMDX. I'm looking at your neighbor's comment text here, and it is something else. A few years ago, New Orleans had a frost and ice was on car windows. I was out scraping my car, and my neighbor was throwing water on her windshield. I offered my scraper to her, and she looked at it and said, "It looks like some sort of weapon."
See, I'm telling you, people from the South that just moved here, they don't know how to handle things.
Backed away.
It's not their...
Get away from me. Wow.
You can text us at 608-879-8255 or use the Civic Media app. Yes, Sam?
Have you ever used an ice scraper as a shovel?
As a shovel? No.
Well,
What?
Oh, yeah, one of those long-handled ones?
Yeah, one of the long ones that's like 2.5 feet long. I went off the road once when it was super icy and wound up in the snow, and I was stuck there, so I tried to dig myself out with my ice scraper until it broke.
Wow. Yeah, I suppose that wasn't very successful.
No.
Not quite as broad as a shovel. All right. Here's one from Doug. Defense Secretary nominee Hegseth has promised to quit drinking if he gets the job. What a promise.
That's
instills confidence, I think, in
And have a defense secretary might be woken up in the middle of the night
boy.
to try to figure out if we should throw some missiles somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope he's sober.
Well, let's hope that he did give up his drinking problem.
Yeah.
But would either John or Gordy been hired to take their bromance to Civic Media if they had a known drinking problem? Or that it may be a requirement?
Doug is thinking this through, and
the drinking
maybe
problem that
overthinking
we
it.
have is coffee.
Yeah, that's
That's the problem.
Thank you for those texts. We always appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. And by the way, we did, Tanya Rowe, thank you. We got your link, and we saw the coffee maker. It was one that Gordy actually showed us in the studio during the break, where he had one like that, too.
Yeah, my parents did.
It was 2 pieces.
It's a drip coffee maker. Yeah, 2 pieces. The bottom part is kind of the coffee pot, and the top part is just
where it percolates.
Where it percolates.
Yeah.
And there was a stem in the middle and a coffee holder in the top.
And you just remove the
quite
top
a contraption.
and put the cover on.
Yeah, you would make the coffee and then take the top off and then take the lid and put it on the. It's hard to explain on the radio, but
the length that some people will go to just to have a cup of coffee.
Well, the thing is, they drank coffee all day and into the night. I don't know how coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, the Winstons were going, and it was just a blue haze in the house all day long.
Yeah.
And coffee all day and all night.
Yeah.
It just never ended. And that's
what we did
the way
for fun.
it was.
That's before.
That's why
cell
my
phones.
sister and I are very warped individuals. Yes.
Before cell phones.
We replaced the cigarette addiction with cell phones.
I actually told my son that the other day.
Really?
Yeah. He said, "Well, you smoked, right?" I said, "Yeah, but that's what we did with our hands at the time." Now we just hold phones.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me anyway. Let's get to what's going on at the Supreme Court in the transgender issue that they have before them. Several of the court's conservatives appeared heavily focused on so-called detransitioners, individuals who regret receiving gender-affirming treatments earlier in their life. Kavanaugh said, "You say there are benefits from allowing these treatments, but there are also harms. At least the state says so, including lost fertility, physical and psychological effects on those who later change their mind and want to detransition, which I don't think we can ignore." And my message to Kavanaugh is, yes, I think we can ignore that. What the hell, right? Oh, I regret it now. Come on, folks. There are people out there who say, I regret getting those tattoos, or boy, I regret getting married, or having kids. I mean, there are a lot of people that have regrets about maybe a job they took that they shouldn't have taken. We can't base our policies on the fact that somebody later on is going to say, I really should not have transitioned. I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I mean, you made the decision. It's up to you. I mean, this is your personal decision. This is your life. This is what you have to kind of live with at that point.
Exactly.
I don't have
Sam?
the statistic offhand here, but I've heard before that the percentage of people who regret breast implant surgery is actually higher than the percentage of people who regret transition surgery or gender-affirming care.
So we should get rid of breast implants, right? We should get rid of marriage. We should get rid of tattoos because somebody's going to regret it later on in life. By the way, this is that slippery slope that the Supreme Court seems to be setting up at this point.
Right.
And then they act like, we just give it to the states. This is ridiculous. This is a human right. This is something the Constitution guarantees all of us. And all of a sudden they're sitting there, we're going to start, stripping away these rights that people have. We're just going to give them to the states. We don't want to deal with them. All of a sudden, what are the Supreme Court justices? What's their job? There's nothing left.
Just to hand it back to the states, apparently.
Exactly. This is the most ridiculous Supreme Court I've ever seen. And I'm with. Those people are just freaking out over what's going on at the Supreme Court. The Democrats don't seem to be very upset about what's happening there. I mean, they backed away from maybe adding some Supreme Court justices or maybe having some kind of rule set up for the Supreme Court because they can do it. It's written in the Constitution that they can do this stuff. And I don't understand why we're taking this so lightly. We're allowing the Supreme Court to throw all of these rights that we have guaranteed in the Constitution and sending them off to the states so that when we step over the border of a state line, we lose rights, human rights that we have. This is freaking me out. Let's get James Santel in here.
Okay.
We'll both commiserate here.
We'll see if we can get him in. Yes. I know. Yeah.
Am I out there on this?
No,
this is beyond logical. Okay.
It wasn't the only time they tried to expand the Supreme Court in recent history with Roosevelt. Didn't he try to stack the court or try to expand it?
Yeah.
And
they wouldn't let him do it.
They rejected that. Yeah. But it seems like it should be.
It should be more than 9.
Yes.
Right?
And they've talked about having a Supreme Court and then having sort of
term limits.
Term limits, yes. Yeah. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer, but I don't know.
This is just, the thing is, now that the Supreme Court has completely gone partisan, I mean, they are now very, very political. They have changed everything. I mean, overturning a 50-year law Roe, I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, this is beyond anyone's imagination, what they're doing here and getting rid of the Chevron doctrine, where agencies of the president now have no decision-making process. They have to go through the courts in order to get permission to have maybe tighter restrictions on water contaminants, all that stuff. Now the courts do it, and the administration doesn't have any power whatsoever to do this kind of stuff. Now, they did this. They repealed the Chevron doctrine. Will it apply to the Trump administration? Will those people in those positions, in those departments, have the power to do what they want to do, or will they have to go through the courts like the Supreme Court just decided?
Well, they're sure going to try.
Well,
John,
we'll see.
This is a pretty dark thought, but anything and everything that has been legislated in this country can be undone. We could bring slavery back if people wanted to.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they're trying to bring slavery back, child labor. They want to bring that back.
How so?
Well,
really?
In the state, they tried to bring it back with 15 and 16-year-olds. They wanted to give 15 and 16-year-olds the right to go to work without a parent's permission.
Oh, yeah.
Getting rid of work permits.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I got a job at 15 for the first time, and I thought work permits were a stupid idea. but I wasn't the kind of kid that would ever drop out of school just to start working.
Right.
Which is really what they're aimed at.
Well, now that
preventing.
you're older, obviously you see the importance
Oh,
of
yeah,
having
absolutely.
a parent at least approving it, because it could be an escape clause for you, to say, I don't like school, I hate it,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
really am just going to go to work. And the parent says, nope, you're going to school for your best interest.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Republicans here wanted to lower the bar a lot and go with child labor, and it was just a really horrible. They put it in their last budget, and it was rejected, of course. But they're going to keep trying.
Yeah, is that in Project 2025 too? Like,
I would assume it
I think
is.
they want to get rid of the EPA too, and
Right,
everything
right.
else.
Now, another thing that kind of got my dander up. I hate to say that. I mean,
Got
it's
your
like
goat?
50-year-old saying that. Oh God, maybe I should rethink some of those old sayings. Anyway, let's talk about Social Security. The taxation of Social Security benefits.
Oh, come on, really?
The taxation on Social Security benefits was part of the last bipartisan overhaul of America's leading retirement program. Okay, but Trump just posted seniors should not pay taxes on Social Security.
Oh.
Let's just repeal everything we've ever done in our past life. Okay. But, eliminating the federal tax on benefits has a very bad effect on Social Security, and we've got a whole bunch of little things here to think about. Trump's campaign proposal also includes eliminating taxes on tips and overtime, imposing a tariff on goods imported from China, and up to 20% on all the other countries, and expanding deportations. Now, let's go through this. Ending the tax on tips and overtime would likely reduce payroll tax income, all right? The sizable tariffs on imports can lead to higher cost of living adjustments, which would drain Social Security's assets reserves even faster. Additionally, tariffs run the risk of reducing taxable payroll. Strengthening the border would remove undocumented workers who've had a decisively positive impact on Social Security. Well, we know this. They pay in for Social Security and Medicare, but they do not take those benefits. So taking mass deportations into consideration here, we're looking at really stripping Social Security and Medicare of a lot of its funding, a lot of it. The wealthy don't have to worry about this, of course. The billionaires, who are, by the way, now taking charge of our country, running it. We heard that. 9 billionaires in the administration? It would move, by the way, and then if you don't tax the tips, what happens is these people who didn't have their tips taxed, that would be their income, later in life when they're collecting Social Security, wouldn't have a very good monthly payment.
Right. Yes.
So it would really harm them. And if they want to reduce, Social Security in the future as well, then we're really in trouble. This is a total attack on Social Security and Medicare, completely. And if they can make it as troubled as they want to make it here, then it's easier to kind of just say, let's move on to something else.
Well, let's just wait and see.
Yeah,
how
there
this
you go.
all works.
Yes, there you go.
Again,
let's just wait and see.
I think you're borrowing trouble here. It's all going to work out just fine.
Yeah. And by the way, if they do reduce it by this much, I mean, just putting these policies in place like Trump wants to do, it would eventually lead to a larger sweeping benefit cut for Social Security at 33%. Right now, they're considering a 23% reduction in the benefit cut if they don't do anything to support and firm up Social Security, which I'm sure they will have to do. But, the way the megas are going at it, it may not be a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of depressing stuff going on here. I got it off my chest now.
Thank goodness. You
I
feel
can
better
move
now?
on with my life.
Okay. Good to know. All right. We're coming back with this, that, and the other little tidbits and odds and ends, leftovers, right around the corner on John and Gordy in the morning.
Your baby where the action is. Oh, baby, come on. Let me take it where the action is. Oh, baby, come on. Let me take it where the action is. Oh, baby, come on. Let me take it where the action is. It's so neat to meet you, baby, where the action is. Oh, baby, come on. Let me
terrific if you like eating leftovers.
Leftovers.
Leftovers?
I kept the leftovers.
The leftovers!
Just some leftovers.
Leftovers for a week and a half.
He ate those leftovers.
Funeral leftovers.
Leftovers. Enjoy.
92.7 WMDX. This portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress available on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com. It is 7:52. It's cold out there, 10 degrees. Feels like 6 below. Highs in the mid-20s today.
Bitter.
Time for leftovers.
Yeah, we've got this leftover right here. It's about Trump's deportation plan, and
what is the plan,
impact
anyway?
it's going to have on this state. Cody Heller of Heller Farms in Jackson County said about Trump's plan to deport immigrants who keep his farm afloat.
Right.
He can't do it, nor would he ever do it. We hear that a lot from the right, don't we? He's not going to do it. They say all these
It's just
things.
a lot of talk.
Yeah.
He says that he doesn't really mean it.
So wait and see.
Yeah.
63% of rural voters back Trump, even though they were warned about deportations and tariffs that would deliver a major blow to American agriculture, the story says here. And Cody Heller takes it for granted that Trump is just lying, like he always does, Under Kamala Harris, nothing to worry about. Apparently, it's worth the risk. Apparently, 10,000 undocumented immigrants do about 70% of the work on Wisconsin dairy farms. Who cares, right? Guess we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. Well, I've got a few cuts here, and thanks to Dom's show. He had his guest on, Hans Brighton Moser. And
yeah, this was great.
We haven't talked to him.
Yeah.
But I took a few cuts from his show that I thought were really important about the deportations. And if you could play cut 187, it's probably from November.
Yeah.
So let's check that out. This is his point of view in regards to that.
A lot of good people in the great state of Wisconsin and all over this country who have been demonized and otherized and just absolutely dragged through the mud and accused by our politicians, Donald Trump, Tom Tiffany in my area, of being these horrible, god-awful criminals. And I just know better. I know, I've worked alongside so many people, foreign-born people, my parents among them. I mean, my parents were immigrants a generation ago from Switzerland. But the point of it is, I work with these folks and super hardworking people doing work that otherwise wouldn't get done, supporting an economy, and they've been turned in, and demonized.
Yeah.
And so it's just so troubling, and it just hurts my heart, and the stupidity of it all. I mean, you had Maggie on earlier talking about the numbers. Anybody that can do simple math should understand that if you are able to wave a magic wand and remove 5 to 11 million people from an economy that's already short of workers, it's not going to do great things for our economy, and certainly not for our rural economies where I'm from. So, and right now, my workforce, 10 out of the 12 people are from Mexico. They are foreign-born folks, and I know this to be true of most of the farms that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, if they've got north of 200 cows, they have somebody working for them. If not darn near everybody who works for them, is coming from a different country.
That's right. And, I do the census, and I go out into the country and interview a lot of them, the immigrants. They live in some of the abandoned farmhouses now, and that the fields around them have been taken in by the neighbors. So, it's kind of interesting. And we have another cut here, if we could play that real quick. How long is that one? It is cut 188. How long?
It's a minute 40.
We won't be able to play that. No.
Right? Okay.
Oh, well, okay. I'm looking at you. Is that okay? Can we
we've got time.
All right,
yes.
let's play it. All right, let's play it.
Without foreign-born folks, Abbotsford ceases to exist. Abbotsford is a very rural community, but it has a huge labor force that works in the packing plant here.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about dairy directly, but we also talk about the meat packing industry. And like it or not, a lot of the folks that work in that type of job are also foreign born. So, and while every employer, whether it's in hospitality, manufacturing, construction, dairy, vegetables, et cetera, all employers are obligated to ask for documentation so that they can have an I-9 form on hand.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I don't know the statistics, but it's an open secret that a lot of people's documentation is questionable, and so, but why not just face reality and say, okay, how can there be a legal path to maybe not citizenship, if that makes people all nervous, but certainly a path for legal work in this country.
Yeah, work permits.
Because we rely on these people to make the economy run. And if you remove these people from the economy, it is going to it's really going to hurt, and it's really going to hurt rural areas. I can't stress that enough. I was on the Lincoln County board for 10 years, and I know what small rural counties face. You take away a big part of the population, it's going to have an impact on everything that goes on in these rural counties. So I just want people to understand how important this demographic of people is to our economy.
Absolutely, and that's from Don Salvia's show, and appreciate the interview.
Yeah, I heard that too, and it was a great conversation. And he made the point too that you can't just replace them with American workers because they don't exist. They can't.
We have a labor shortage.
Yes.
In the States.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Thanks to Don for.
We're talking about the Constitution. Hamilton points out that the Constitution really doesn't give the Supreme Court the ability to tell us whether a law is constitutional or not.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we'd go back to that.
Unfortunately, we're all out of time, John. We will be here tomorrow, 6 a.m.
That's right.
Stephanie Miller's next. Have a great day.
John and Gordy Show.